Matt Hall here with Jeffrey Martin from Lawrence, Kansas, where K-State just knocked off KU 30-20. We just left the post-game press conference. K-State happy to get a win, of course, against their hated rivals, but a lot to be worried about leaving today, too.
Yeah, the special teams was, to me, I think most people would agree. I think Bill even said it. That was the difference. And everything else, it's going to be, they're going to have to work on that this week in practice for sure.
Yeah, special teams. Let's talk about one of the great things from today. DJ Reed takes a kickback, 99 yards for a touchdown. I think Matt McCrane has 3 field goals. I don't have Nick Walsh's punting stats in front of me, but he had a really good day. So, yeah, the unit that stood out today, we talk every week about getting a complete game. Didn't happen today, but special teams brought a complete game on their end of it.
Yeah, they don't win without the special teams contributions. I mean, let's just cut right to the chase. It's the truth. Defense, little shaky again. Let up 400 and something yards. I don't know how the numbers in front of me, but it was pretty bad, pretty bleak. On offense, you went through, you had 2 quarterbacks, Skylar Thompson. I know you guys are excited about Skylar. He looked pretty good, pretty composed in relief. Actually came in and needed to make plays, made plays. Alex Barnes, no residual, no carryover from last week. Went over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Played a pretty strong game. So, yeah, I think not a complete game yet, but there's still hope, I guess, right? You're at 4-4, and all you guys ahead of you.
Yeah, and you hit on quarterback. That'll be the storyline to watch probably next week. We saw Jesse Ertz after the game without a lot of speculation. He obviously wasn't in uniform, couldn't have played today. We don't know the status of Alex Delton, but obviously couldn't go back in the game today. Skylar Thompson, as you said, I think played well for the most part. I thought Alex played well when he was in. Could have had a really nice day. If not for a drop pass, it could have been a score. So the good news is if you're K-State, you appear to have 3 capable quarterbacks, but you're down to your 3rd one right now as far as health. So you talked about being 4-4. Go to Texas Tech next week. Obviously a huge, huge game for this team.
Yeah, and Bill Snyder after the game said that, again, we're interpreting, things he says and everything, but I feel like he say, hey, hope to have him back, or hope to have him. Not have to have him back, hope to have him, I think, next week, which can mean anything. I mean, that could mean maybe having him practice, can mean a variety of things. So, but I don't think I know some people complained about the offense maybe stalling a little bit in the first half. The offense in the first half got out of rhythm because of drops and fumbles and those things. I thought Alex Delton played good enough. But in the second half, when some plays had to be made to close this game out, I thought that Skylar Thompson played well too. So to me, you have 3 options there. The coaching staff will figure out the best, but I think they're in decent shape.
It is a 30-20 win. I understand that Kansas is a bad football team and K-State fans wanted a much bigger win. And I respect it. But at the same time, it's your in-state rival. It's 9 straight. Dalton Reisner talked after the game about the importance of winning in this. You said yesterday on the podcast, of course, K-State wanted to blow this team out, but you had to get a win today, and that's what they did. Yeah,
and I think we opened it up and said, what would make you feel good leaving? And I don't think this does. But I do think if you look at the big picture, you are 4-4. Things you definitely have to prove. We just talked before we came on here talking about maybe for defense, maybe it's time to just turn this over to the young kids, because let's be honest, you put the young kids on the field, pretty sure they can give up 400 yards too, just like your older guys have. So I would argue if you're getting those guys experience on the fly, you're probably better off in the games that are really critical as opposed to the known commodities that you have out there right now.
Yeah, not to create any drama, because DJ Reed was great after the game, but he said a couple of different times he's interested in the idea of moving around and covering the best receiver. K-State typically puts its corner in one spot and leaves it there on the boundary, and then the other side of the field. I thought that was interesting. It was a very respectful quote, but I think Alex Barnes probably voiced some concern to the coaches last week, and he got 24 carries today. I think it'll be interesting to see, as you just talked about, will there be personnel changes? Will there be changes in schematics? Because you're giving up 480 yards, 500 yards to Kansas. There's a lot of people who can probably do that on this defense right now.
Yeah, and I think that what's cool is that, it seems like the coaching staff actually listened, and I think that's the whole point. I think these guys care. I think it matters to them. I don't think anybody's mailing the season in. I think these guys are competitors. I think they're guys who deserved the right to be heard, and they're contributors. I mean, they come out here on Saturdays, and they've, the only person who stopped Alex Barnes earlier in the year from getting 100 yards in a game or two was the coaching staff. They pulled him out, and they went with other guys. So, but the point is, these guys produce when given the opportunity, and they want to produce. And so I think if they're voicing something, it's not a selfish thing about numbers. I think it's about they want to win. And I think if DJ wants to move around, I think it's something the coaching staff should consider and think about. He's special. Everyone recognizes that. It's like these guys aren't naive. I mean, they understand how special of a talent he is. I think anyone's going to get mad that, we got to move to the other side because DJ wants to follow a guy around. I think this is big boy football. This is how things work. And if that gives you a better chance to win, I think you should do it.
Jeff will be down in Lubbock next week. I'm going to stay back and cover basketball. Like you said, a huge game. Jeff talked about this before. You need 2 more wins to get to a bowl game, and a road game at Texas Tech suddenly appears, despite not dominating today, to be one perhaps you can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bill Snyder talked about, tempo and these things, and, you're going to be throwing the ball around the yard, and I think that seems to be like a bugaboo for this defense. I feel like it's something that they, I don't know if we go into it's a mental thing or whatever, but I think, I don't know, schematically, doesn't seem like they have the personnel, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not a coach, but it seems to be something that they definitely have a problem with. But as far as everything else, I mean, I thought I was encouraged by the special teams today, and I think offensively, I think they're going to be okay too. I feel like that offensive line's getting a little nastiness, and I think that's really, really huge. And I think if your quarterbacks are on the attack in that run game, and I don't know, I guess I'm more optimistic about the offense right now in terms of what it can accomplish. I mean, I know before the season I was pretty bullish on the potential of the unit, and I see some of that now. I'm starting to see it, and this is against better competition. I mean, we saw it against
Oklahoma. You mean?
No, I saw Central Arkansas, and we're just kind of like, this is what they could be, and all this stuff. But now I think you're actually starting to see it. Now, Kansas, I don't know how much that matters, but we've been seeing the offense actually do some stuff. So I don't know. I think that's encouraging if you're looking for those signs. If you want to, wallow and be upset, that's cool. I get that too. But a win is a win, and you're 4-4, and you got 4 games left. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. At the end of the day, as a K-State fan, you have to be happy to beat Kansas for the 9th straight time. For Jeffrey Martin, Matt Hall, Grant Flanders coming down here and recording this today. Thanks for being on K-State Online.
Tell your friends.